It is another episode of Small Town Expectations. Brandi Rose here, and excited to bring my next guest on. His name is Trevorr. He's fantastic. And so here's just a little background on Trevorr. A while back, I was interviewing a young person named Andrew, and Trevorr was here hanging out. And so he saw that on, I put this post out saying, hey, I would love to interview anybody who wants to come on, tell their story, share their experience of living in a small town. And he emailed me and was like, hey, I'd really like to do this. And I got so excited because here's another really fantastic young person with an amazing story and really unique experiences. And so I love these kind of stories. I'm so excited to bring you Trevorr's adventure and Trevorr's story. And so here he is, Trevorr, everyone.
Hi.
Don't worry, he waved too, just so you know out there. He didn't just say hello, he also waved. Cool, Trevorr, well, tell everyone a little bit about yourself.
Well, I'm 15 and I go to Rosinante High School. I do a lot of music stuff with New Covenant, and I like to sing.
Yeah, dude, you're an incredible singer.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're so talented. So here's just a little snippet of Trevorr. So pretty new to New Covenant, right? Mm-hmm. And I remember when you were first starting to go there. New Covenant is a small Methodist church here in our community, and so Trevorr starts coming, and he's coming with Andrew, right? Mm-hmm. And man, this kid he just freaking worships so authentically and genuinely. And people, I think, and I'm not just saying this, dude, people really look at you as that's a kid who is worshiping and just in the moment just praising. And I think that was really cool and unique for that church because in Methodist world, people don't always, really get into music. And so it's cool to see you really get into it like that. And you're an amazing singer. And so it's cool to have you just up there leading people like that. So
thank you.
Yeah.
I really love God.
Yeah, it's really neat.
And I really love the presence of God.
Yeah.
It's very inviting.
Well,
welcoming.
it is very obvious. So thank you for sharing that with people. So tell us a little bit about just how long you've lived in Farmington. What is that like for you?
I've lived in Farmington my whole life. I've been in the same house since I was a very small child.
Yeah.
I've been in the same place for 15 years.
Okay.
So, I've been bouncing around around schools for a really long time because I went to Esperanza Elementary and then I moved to Ladera and then I went to Hermosa, but then I was homeschooled in half of 8th grade and then I went back to Hermosa and then I was accepted into Samuel College High School, but it didn't work out because my brain doesn't work with homework very well. Okay. And I went to FHS and I had problems at FHS with teachers and peers and stuff because it was just too big, and so now I'm at Rosinante.
Yeah, cool. So I mean, I feel like that is a really unique experience going to all of these schools. This is really true just in any city, really, small, big. You go to an elementary school, then you go to a junior high or middle school, then you go to high school, and that's pretty much how it is, right? Mm-hmm. And here's your experience of going to a couple of different elementaries, a couple of different junior highs, and now a couple of different high schools. And I think that's unique to who you are. Do you mind sharing just some of those experiences? Maybe just high school. Mm-hmm. What were some of those experiences for you?
High school was really difficult because my freshman year I moved schools 3 times and that was really difficult doing that and making sure I had all my credits still and it was really difficult when I didn't really have a reason to go to want to go to school,
Yeah.
Because, I don't know, my life was kind of, awful at that moment in time, and so I didn't care about graduating, and I was, 100% sure that I was just going to drop out after that year, and so, that was really difficult, hopping from school to school and not having friends, and then having friends, and then not having friends, and, all of this drama happening, too, and, it was really awful.
So you're a sophomore now. You've just finished your sophomore year.
Yes.
Right? Which is cool. So freshman year's tough.
Yeah.
Right? So what did you do to kind of get through that?
I really surrounded myself with godly human beings and I involved myself very thoroughly with church because it was the only thing I had And, like, it was the only thing in my life that was consistent at the time.
Yeah.
And so, like, I made sure to, like, surround myself around, like, godly people and, like, godly experiences, I guess. Because, like, it made it a lot easier on me to, like, rely on something other than people, because people had not, like, had not been, like, very good at, like, being, like, reliant, you know?
But consistently you were going to church on Sunday. Were you going to youth group too?
Yeah, so, like, I was going to church on Tuesdays, and then I would go to practice on Thursdays, and then I sang on Saturdays, and I sang on Sundays.
That's cool. Yeah, so that was literally the only consistent thing happening then, right? And that was pretty much all freshman year.
Yeah.
So by the end of freshman year, what high school do you finally end up at?
Rosinante High School.
Right. Which, for anybody who doesn't know about Rosinante High School, Rosinante is the alternative school here in Farmington. We have an alternative school in each little town here. Charlie Y. Brown in Bloomfield, Vista Nueva in Aztec, and Career Prep in Shiprock. And then, of course, Rosinante, which Rosinante is probably the biggest alternative school that we have in this area. And for me, just my personal experience with Rosinante is this is the school that, you know, when kids don't really have another choice for whatever reason, you know, whether it's because they need a place where they can finish school, or they need a place where they can just go and just have a little bit of extra time to do something. Or they need a place where, you know, they're going to be accepted for A, B, and C, whatever that means, right? And so I have a special place in my heart for alternative schools, just because I think that they're so needed, you know? As somebody who goes in and talks to students in high schools, the students that are at alternative schools, there's just a little extra something, you know what I mean? And whether it's because they're teen moms, or because, you know, whatever it is, that's not even the case for half of them. It's like a small percentage of students that go to an alternative school are, you know, our moms or dads. And listen, there's no judgment here in my voice for any student that goes to an alternative school for whatever that reason is, because I think that there's a very specific reason.
They're very necessary.
They're very necessary. And so for you, going to an alternative school was necessary because why?
Because, like, number one, being trans and, like, being in a very conservative town was very difficult. And, like, being trans and Christian was also very difficult. And, like, because at that point in time, I wasn't really accepted by either, like, groups, because, like, the LGBT groups kind of bash on Christians because, like, Christians bash on LGBT people. And so it's, like, this vicious cycle of being right in the middle of all of it. And, like, at Rosinante, everyone is family, and you'll hear that from every single person that goes to Rosinante, because, like, at FHS, like, if you're a freshman, no one knows your name. No one. But the second you come to Rosinante, you've got groups of people being like, hey, what's your name? Like, how old are you? What school did you come from? How are you? Like, here's my number if you need to talk. Like, here's all these teachers, and here's all these resources. Like, if you need, like, if you want to go read a book, go to Miss Meacham. If you want to, like, go do art and, like, have some fun, go to Miss West. Like, she's pretty cool. And, like, the first day I was at Rosinante, everyone was super welcoming and super, like, kind. And I had never experienced that from school before. And so it was really, like, special to me. And it was a good time. And then, like, I experienced all of this love that I didn't really get to experience from school before.
You're getting me all emotional and whatever.
I am also very emotional. I love Rosinante, and, like, all of the teachers are so loving and kind. Even the teachers that you don't have, like, they're always so kind and loving, and, like, when you walk in, it's always, hey, how are you? How's your weekend? What are you doing? Hey, I haven't seen you in a few days. Are you okay? Like, every time I walk into Miss Taylor's and, like, I haven't been there in a few days, she always tells me that she's been worried and, like, asks me how I am. And, like, it's so good to know that, like, all of my teachers care about me and know me by name, and not, like, by my test scores or by my like, statistics, or, like, the minority that I am in, you know?
Or that you are just, you know, this kid who is misunderstood, and so, like, because that can sometimes be an identity, you know what I mean, like, and then you wear this target and this label of, like, oh, great, you know, whoever blah 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 is here, and then it's like, like you're some sort of problem kid, and that's not true. That is just really not true. And I think I'm so glad that that's been your experience for high school now, is that there's this place that is come alongside you and are just walking with you through a journey, right?
Yeah, and like my journey through like all of the other high schools is the reason why I love Rosinante so much. And like I wouldn't love Rosinante as much if I like started going there my freshman year, and I'm really glad that I had all the bad experiences at FHS and at San Juan College High School because I needed that. And like going to Rosinante has pushed me farther into like God, because like now that I have all of these people who like are keeping me accountable for my actions and keeping me accountable for like being Christ-like, even just at school, like it makes it easier to hold myself accountable like out of school and out of church.
Yeah. It's good. So, earlier we were talking about what's going to happen with high school, and you were telling me that because you're at Rosinante now, you actually get to graduate early. So you went from literally thinking, there's no way I'm going to finish high school. I'm going to be a high school dropout and, do whatever it is to survive, right? And now you're sitting here going, I'm about to graduate in like, at the end of this year. So in December, right?
Yeah. I was told that I only need 7.5 more credits, and for a sophomore, that's insane. And, like, I'm doing summer school this year, and so I'm doing summer school, and then I'll probably do, like, a fall semester, and I'll probably have a few more credits to, like, make up during spring.
Okay.
But, like, unless I don't pass a single class, there's no way I'm not graduating in May.
Awesome.
And, like, that's so good, and, I couldn't do this without, like, Rosinante. I couldn't do this at FHS, and I couldn't do this at San Juan College High School, because San Juan College High School is just as accelerated, but it's more difficult because, like, number one, it's a brand new school, and so they don't really know what they're doing yet, and they don't really know, like, how to work it yet, and it was really difficult on, like, me as a person who, like, whose parents aren't as involved as, like, they should be for, like, a San Juan College High School student,
Yeah.
And, like, that was really difficult. And so, like, Rosinante makes it really easy to, like, be involved without, like, having to rely on other people.
Yeah. So you found your niche, and I'm so glad for that. I'm so glad that you have a place that you are accepted as Trevorr, and you're getting through high school, and you're gonna finish, dude.
Soon.
I'm so happy for that. That's
I know,
awesome.
I'm so excited.
Yeah. So earlier you just very kind of you mentioned that you're trans. Right? Can you talk a little bit about just about who you are as Trevorr?
Well,
what does that mean for you?
I don't know. I'm like, I identify as mask flux, and so like I go through this like spectrum of being like non-binary and masculine, and so like I'm not feminine at all, which is very unfortunate considering, but like. And so it's really difficult because,
I don't think
like,
it's unfortunate.
Yeah, it's just...
It's not.
It's difficult because I was, like, because I'm biologically female.
Yeah.
And so, like, it's really difficult, like, being everything but that.
Yeah.
But when I, like, first came out, I was still at FHS, and that was really difficult because, like, all of my teachers were very, like... about using my name and my pronouns and, like, all of that stuff. But when I moved to Rosinante, it, like, they would call my birth name out and roll, and I'd say, hey, my real name is Trevorr, and they'd be fine with it. And, like, I didn't even have to, like, express my pronouns because all of the teachers are so, like, inclusive and so, like, accepting regardless of their, like, religious perspectives.
Sure.
Because, like, a few of my teachers are very Christian and very Mormon, and, like, they're so accepting still, and, like, it gives me a lot of hope, like, within my church experience because of that,
So it gives you hope for just humanity.
Yeah, a little bit. Which you also mentioned that,
it's tough because we kind of, we're in this world where if you're queer, then Christians are supposed to hate you. And if you're non-queer, you're supposed to hate queer people. If you're not queer and Christian, you're supposed to hate, queer people. And it's like this vicious kind of gross place to be in, because it doesn't have to be like that, number one. And so many times, some of us experience the opposite of what that is, right? And then people don't understand it, and they're like, well, how are you Christian and queer? And then you're just like, my name's Trevorr.
Yeah.
And so it's really special. It's really cool.
Yeah.
So I'm glad that, Rosinante is a place for you that you can be all of those things. So that's really great.
Me too.
Yeah. So I know that you hang out at Identity Inc., which is the local, LGBT center here in Farmington. Can you just talk a little bit about and tell just a funny story or something like that about Identity?
Well, I go to their Saga support group on Mondays. It used to be on Wednesdays, but it's Mondays now.
Yeah.
And I don't know. It's a good time. I can't really remember any, funny stories. But, I helped set up for gay prom, and that was a lot of fun. I, stayed up all night painting these paper lanterns as planets. And then, because, we, set up the night before, and then Michelle was kind of like, hey, we have all these paper lanterns if you wanted to take them home and paint them. And I was like, yeah, that'll take an hour and a half. And I was literally up until 7 a.m.
Awesome.
Painting these paper planets. And then I had school at 8:15.
Yeah.
And so I was carrying around all these paper planets, and I was like, oh.
You can sleep when you're old. You're fine.
Yeah. And so gay prom was a lot of fun because I was very tired. Sleep deprived.
So gay prom here in Farmington was a really big deal for you guys, right? Because, if you listen to the Andrew episode, he talked a little bit about how really hard it is to be authentic in your school setting and to take the person that you actually want to take to prom, or that you would take to prom if you could. And he kind of just talked about the realness of and the danger of doing something like that, right? And so, can you just elaborate and talk about just how excited were you to be able to go to prom, especially go to prom with a person that you really care about and that is special to you?
I was really excited because Rosinante doesn't do prom, and FHS doesn't let underclassmen go to prom, and so I was really excited to be able to surround myself with, number one, other LGBT people, and two, people that I cared about and knew, because big crowds kind of freak me out because I go to Rosinante and I'm used to 200 of us in a building, that's it.
Yeah.
And so it was really nice just having a little get together of a few people and having so much fun with just these few people. And I was really excited to be able to go into a space and be included and be know that I'm safe, because when I went to homecoming my 8th grade year, I went to homecoming at FHS, and I was really afraid because I was out to myself, but I wasn't out yet.
Yeah.
And I was really afraid that someone would know for some reason, and know that I was trans, and know that I was queer, and I don't know, it's really scary being part of a minority in a very conservative town.
It is.
Because, For
obvious reasons.
Very obvious reasons. And, I didn't feel very safe, and so I left early. And, the fact that I walked in and immediately felt safe was very, special to me. And it was very special to, be able to make it a safe space for other people. And, I'm really happy that I had the opportunity.
Yeah, and have the opportunity, too, to be a leader in that group and to be able to help Michelle, the person who actually runs the group. She's the adult leader, right? And that's, I don't know, I just think that's really cool that you're this young person, but you're also somebody who people trust and who, they can give you tasks and you do them, right? Which is good. That's a really, that's unique for teenagers, you know,
Yeah.
that not all teenagers are like you in that sense, especially. And so I don't know, I just think that's really neat that Michelle knew that, you know, she could trust you and she could go, hey, like, do you want to do this? And you're like, it's not going to take very long, but you did it, right? It took you like 15 million hours.
And like, that's another like trait that like most of Rosinante students have, is that we like step into leadership positions because we want to and not because we feel forced to.
Yeah.
And like, we are like, because we're a family, we all kind of are the same. Yeah. And we have like the mentality of we want to help other people because you're helping us. Mm-hmm. And I really like being in leadership positions because I like to help other people, because like I needed people to help me when like I wasn't doing good. Yeah. And because people stepped into leadership positions and helped me, it made me want to do that for other people, you know, and it inspired me to be able to do that for other people.
Right. Which is so neat. Mm-hmm. And I think you're special for that. So I would love for you don't have to, but I would love for you to just talk a little bit about your friends and about, because you're talking about supporting, supporting others and how people have supported you through some kind of maybe dark moments and whatever. And so maybe give a shout out to some of your friends and just talk a little bit about how unique your friendships are, because, I think friendships are, when you really break it down, when you really just look at it in a broad perspective, friends are the same no matter where you live. But there definitely is something unique about having friends in a place like Farmington. And then especially because your experiences are unique for you, I think that your friends are special. And so I would just love to hear a little bit about your friends.
Well, my best friend Adrian, I've been best friends with him since 6th grade. We've known each other since like the butt crack of dawn, and like I've seen him grow a lot, and he's seen me grow a lot, and, like, it's very, like, I don't know, he, like, came out before me, and it was really cool to see, like, my best friend grow into such, like, a wonderful person, and, like, just grow and learn and, like, experience. It was really, like, near and dear to me to experience, like, the same things with my best friend, because, like, when he came out, it was really, like, special to me, because, like, I knew that I wasn't alone, and I thought I was alone until he came out, and, like, when he did, like, it really opened my eyes, because, like, I realized that there was more, like, queer people and trans people than I thought in Farmington, and I felt very less alone. Even though, like, we've been best friends since forever, I still felt, like, less alone when he came out because of, like, because I didn't feel so secluded, and I, like, finally figured out that, like, there are other people like me, and I'm not alone.
Yes.
And, like, I've had so many good memories with that kid. He's such a cool kid. Like, he's supported me through everything. Even when he didn't agree with it, he supported me through everything. And, like, I really hold him very dear, like, to my heart. Mm-hmm. And I appreciate him a lot.
Does he go to school with you?
Yes, he does. He started going to Rosinante, like, 4 months before me.
Cool. That's cool. So you have your best friend with you at school. Yeah. Which is really neat.
And I need that.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. So, was he one of the first people that you actually came out to as well? Mm-hmm. Yeah. And it's just because you're like, whoa, you're like me. I feel safe.
Yeah, and, like, he gave me a lot of guidance on, like, how to approach it, because I wasn't sure, because I was scared. Mm-hmm. Especially in, like, Farmington, New Mexico, like, central conservative, Yeah. And, like, just having friends like that made me feel very safe. Yeah. And, like, he introduced me to, like, Identity Inc. Like, he went with me the first time that I went. Yeah. And, like, helped me, like, know and, like, feel safe that I was, and, like, know that I was not alone. Yeah.
Cool. So my partner and I, Haley, we were talking earlier about how really cool it's going to be to, see you again in like 5 years. Well, just say 5 years. And to hear what you're doing then. And so I need you to, put me in your calendar for 5 years later, because we're going to do this all over again.
I would love
to. I just want to hear where you're at in 5 years, because I think just from sitting down with you right now, right, you have been through a lot. and just in, a couple months of your life, you experienced a lot, and it really shaped you and molded you. And now you're this person sitting in front of me that's still being shaped and molded, and you're growing so much. And, you're about to, in a year, you'll be graduating high school, but you'll be graduating early. And so you're graduating still really young. And then whatever you do after high school is just going to be a new adventure and a new story for you. And I just think, Trevorr, your story is really special. And it's very, I just appreciate you so much just coming and doing this with me and sharing your experience and sharing your story with other people. Because the way that Adrian has sort of inspired you, and he was a person that you went, whoa, I'm not alone. There's people like me. What? And then you felt good about having those conversations. Just a couple of small unique things that you've shared just now is I'm a believer. I sing at church. I'm trans. And I'm, I go to an alternative high school. Like, those are just a snippet of who you are, right? And so I hope that people hear this and they go, there's going to be somebody that hears this, and then they're going to go, whoa, like, I'm not alone, And that there's something, even if that person never talks to you or never has a conversation with you, there's something really cool about that. And also there's something really encouraging about that. And so I just appreciate you so much coming in, just sharing just this really small part of who you are, right? Because I feel like there's so many other layers to you. And that's why in 5 years, like, I need you to put me in your calendar.
I will.
Because you're coming back and you're going to be like, okay, Brandi, like, here we go. This is what's happened in the last 5 years. And this is how I've grown. And this is what I've learned. Because I think that you are going to keep learning and growing. And I think you're first of all, an amazing teenager already. And I just see you being this incredible, just adult in the future. You're an amazing human, period.
Thank you.
You know what I mean? But also, I don't want to cut you off. And so is there anything else that you would like to share or that you would like to just mention?
Well, like, when I grow up, but like when I'm an adult, I like since the first time I've gone to church camp, I've always felt very like called to be a worship leader. And so like eventually I want to go to Bible school and I want to be a worship leader, and like I don't know, I want to bring the presence of God into every room that I walk in.
Yeah.
And my Facebook is Trevorr Ezra Hibbets, and if anyone needs like to talk about anything, like, I'm always open. Just send me a request, hit me up, like, and I will answer as soon as I can. Like, I want to be there for people because, like, people have been there for me.
Yeah, that's
and, like,
cool.
I want to provide any guidance that I can, and any, like, just refuge, I guess.
And just even just like a word of encouragement is sometimes all a person needs. Do you know what I mean? And so that's cool. Yeah. So follow you. Say it again. Trevorr Ezra Hibbets.
Yes.
Right? On Facebook. And so, yeah, check him out on Facebook. And of course, you can, the end. So again, thank you so much for being here, Trevorr.
Of course, thank you for having me.
Yes, no problem. So this has been another episode of Small Town Expectations. Don't forget to like the podcast wherever you listen, whether it's on iTunes or Android apps or whatever. Like us, rate us, so that more people will be able to hear the wonderful stories that are told here, like this one from Trevorr today. Don't forget to follow me on Twitter, Rad Brandi, on Instagram or Facebook, Rad Brandi everywhere, or Brandi Rose on Facebook. And have a wonderful week. We'll be back in 2 weeks for another story and another adventure. You've been listening to Small Town Expectations. See you next time.